7 o'clock here on the East Coast. President-elect Trump's embattled pick for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is brushing aside suggestions that he will take himself out of consideration for the job. This despite continued concern from some Republican senators about his past conduct and his qualifications. NBC News senior Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Hake has the latest.
New public hints of potential Republican opposition to President-elect Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Iowa's Joni Ernst saying she's not ready to support him.
I think for a number of our senators, they want to make sure that any allegations have been cleared, and that's why we have to have a very thorough vetting process.
Other Republicans non-committal after their meetings with Hegseth.
I know he's having meetings. I know some of them were tough. I wouldn't say mine was the easiest.
But Hegseth telling us he's optimistic.
Mr. Hegseth, you feel like you're making progress in these meetings?
Great meetings. And this is how the process works. It's not going to be tried out here. It's going to be discussed inside the offices, how we rebuild our military, put the warfighters first. That's what President Trump has asked me to do.
Are there any circumstances where you would withdraw from this process?
I'm here with the support of President Donald Trump. As long as he supports me, which he told me this morning, I'll be here.
Hegseth, the former Fox News host and decorated combat veteran, facing negative headlines, including an NBC News report that 10 current and former Fox News employees say he drank in ways that concern them. Hegseth saying he does not have a drinking problem. And a sexual assault claim from 2017, which he denies. Police investigated and he was not charged.
It sounds like you're still not fully determined whether you'll support this nominee.
Most nominees, what you'll do is you'll have your open hearing. Pete Hegseth went a long way today, in my opinion, in getting my full support. But I want him to be able to answer in front of everybody else the questions that are there.
I see no reason at this point to not be supportive of him.
That's NBC's Garrett Hake reporting from Capitol Hill. Joining our conversation, the host of MSNBC's Inside with Jen Psaki, and staff writer at The New Yorker, Susan Glasser. Good morning to you both. Jen, I'll start with you. As someone with a lot of experience in Washington, you've watched nominees be sort of paraded around Capitol Hill. You've watched difficult confirmation hearings. What do you make, let's focus on Hegseth for the moment, of some of what we heard yesterday? Is that Republican senators kind of going through the motions saying, I'm open to the possibility, or some just going outright saying, yes, I'm supportive of his nomination? Is that just a reaction to all the other reporting that says perhaps Donald Trump has moved on even in his mind from Pete Hegseth? Or do you think there's actually now some renewed movement to keep him in the game?
I think there's what's happening publicly, and then there's what's happening privately. And what's happening privately really tells you the whole story with nominations. This didn't always used to be the case. It used to be many years ago that senators would come out and they would just say, I'm going to vote for this person, or I'm not going to vote for this person. But now, because so many Republican senators especially are concerned about being a target of Trump, all of this is basically quiet defiance. That's what you saw with Matt Gaetz, and I think that's what you're seeing right now with Pete Hegseth. What was interesting, I don't know if you all saw Senator Blumenthal's comments yesterday with a senator from Connecticut, a Democrat, who said there are 8 to 10 Republicans, or 5 to 10 maybe he said, which is quite a range, who he thinks would oppose Hegseth. And what I expect is going to happen here is that this is going to be quietly a nomination that is killed over the next couple of days, meaning people on the Hill, senators, whether it's McConnell or others, will convey to the Trump team that he simply does not have the votes. And then Trump has to decide what he wants to do from there. Does he pick another nomination? But we're already seeing names floating out there, which is coming from somewhere in the Trump orbit. So that tells you a lot. So I would say these public comments are these senators more trying not to be the target. They know where this is headed. All of the conversations are happening behind the scenes. And I suspect some of them, including Senator Ernst, may want the job, too, which always tells you something as well.
Yeah, without question. That's an important point. And she met with Pete Hegseth yesterday and came out, as we saw in Garrett's piece there, and said she was still open to his nomination. I think you're right that a lot of people don't want to be the ones coming out publicly crossing Donald Trump, at least giving the appearance that they're giving Hegseth a fair hearing. So, Susan, in your latest piece of The New Yorker, you're writing about all